Hello there, Force of Will players, and welcome back to another Wander Wednesday. Today we're going to be taking a look at a ruler that I wasn't really playing the game when it came out. It showed a fair amount of promise at the beginning. People were kind of on it because of what some of the cards did. One of the cards in particular kind of became a meme within the community, and then Tag came out. So then it kind of fell off to the wayside, and that deck is Selesta. So Selesta itself got some support in ROL and other future sets after it was printed, so it does have a fair amount of synergies just within like its own gimmick, basically. And so what Selesta does is her mechanic is around exploration and treasures. So exploration, there are two cards that provide exploration. One is Kiki, which we'll get into, it's in the main deck, and then Celesta's ruler side herself. Celesta's exploration X is equal to the number of magic stones you control, so X is however many magic stones you have, and exploration is you look at the top however many cards of your deck, you reveal a treasure from among the ones that are revealed, you remove it from the game, and then you put the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order. And then Celesta's other effect is you pay X, and then put a copy of X treasures from your RFG into the chase area. And then you can only use that effect once per turn and only during your turn. So you basically get these free, like, looping amount of treasures in order for you to use. On her flip side, she is just kind of a big beat stick. She gets +7/+7 for each treasure in your RFG that was removed by exploration, and then she'll gain Eternal if there are 5 or more treasures with different names. And then she still has the choose X and play their effects, right? So this was one of the later ones that she got. Its activated effect, or its actual like resolution effect, is just draw a card and shuffle it into the deck. But it is treated as 2 treasures in your RFG. 2 treasures with 2 different names. So that helps for, I mean, one, her exploration. I guess you could technically cast it twice. Oh no, you choose X cards. 2 treasures with different names. It's still just 1 card. Okay, yeah. So you can't choose it for like twice for exploration, but it counts for the +7/+7. It counts as 2 for that, and then it counts as 2 different names for the Eternal as well. So she would be much larger, and then you would be that much closer to Eternal for it. So that is that treasure. We'll just go through the treasures real quick. I know this is kind of out of order. Another treasure, you have Dispelling Stone. You can destroy an addition and draw a card. Decent. A lot of editions nowadays have Eternal, but for the ones that don't, Dispelling Stone is like a good option. Claw of the Dragonoid, you gain Pierce and Swiftness. Your J ruler gains Pierce and Swiftness until the end of the turn, and then you draw a card. As you can kind of see, a familiar theme, a lot of these draw a card. This is the only one that doesn't. Parasol might also not. I think those are the only 2. Maybe there are more, but J Resonators, you control game barrier, and you prevent the next damage that would be dealt to them, basically. Endless Purse gives you no maximum hand size until end of game. Jewel of the Panda King, you return a non-magic stone, non-J ruler entity to the hand. Very good against cards like Mount Olympus, Mount Othris, more Mount Olympus, but so on and so forth. Thunder Parasol, you deal 400 damage to a J Resonator for each card in your hand. As you can see, you're drawing a lot of cards. Grimoire, you gain 200 life for each magic stone you control, and then Arm of the Demon, J Resonators gain Drain and Bane. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of these don't draw, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them do. So it's kind of like half and half draw. In addition to that, we also have Kiki. So Kiki is Celesta's alternative card, and so Kiki is kind of like it's a different Cheshire Cat. So the chant side of Kiki is you shuffle the Kiki into the deck, and then you exploration 4. And the reason that's important is because Kiki itself is when it's revealed by an exploration ability, you can play just Kiki. You can't play the exploration part. You can just play the resonator part of Kiki without paying its cost. And then Kiki draws 2 and puts a card from your hand on top of your deck. So Kiki top deck fixes, which is very important for Selesta trying to get these treasures, because you don't really want to draw a lot of the treasures. You can kind of filter them back into the deck, right, because they all shuffle if you need to, but otherwise it allows you to, like, for example, if you go turn 1, Kiki's exploration, you reveal a Kiki, you play the Kiki, you draw 2, you put a treasure from your hand on top of your deck, and then you activate Celesta's exploration because you can only have 1 stone, you guarantee to hit a treasure. so on and so forth, and then you're kind of in your loop game plan. Lunia Master Guide is another card that Selesta got in ROL. And Lunia is a 1-drop 4/4, and then you search your deck for a treasure, reveal it, and you put it on the top of your deck after shuffling your deck. So Lunia is another guarantee to get a turn 1 treasure, as long as their effect resolves. And then at the end of your turn, if you played an exploration ability, you draw a card. So, I mean, Lunia is just always going to get value, because you're just always playing exploration every turn, regardless. Like, there's no reason not to. So if you have a Lunia in play, or multiple Lunias in play, you're just going to be drawing more and more cards each turn, regardless of whether or not you played, like, Kiki's exploration, or just Selesta's effect. Oop, we don't need that. We went through all of the treasures already. Now we get into the, like, extra part of it. So as you can kind of see, about 22 of the cards in the deck are related specifically to Selesta and what Celesta's kind of like engine is going for. You can change these counts around. You might not necessarily need 3 Tremendous Treasure Trove, particularly because you have Lunia, because she's searching. This just felt like the most impactful one, and the one you would probably want to see. The other ones that you really want to see most of the time is going to be Claw, and it's going to be Crown. Because you'll want to give your Selesta barrier, you'll want to give it swiftness, you'll want to do all that, right? Otherwise, these other ones are just kind of extra. You can opt to just not play them, because you don't need to pick different named ones for her activate ability. So, like, you could play 3 Parasol, 3 Jewel of the Panicking, whatever you need to do off of her activate ability, but it won't count towards giving her Eternal. So you'd want to take a look into that. And then what I did for this list was I just added at least 1 of each treasure, just in case. So there aren't other treasures other than this that I am aware of. I did do a Force of Wind database search by treasure, and these were the ones that came up. So, but moving on, setting the stage of Providence, we don't want our stuff getting canceled, particularly our activate effect on our Selesta. So setting the stage is just going to be better for us than Fairer Spell, and we're already predominantly in blue via, as we can see, just Selesta, Lunia, Kiki as well. So setting the stage works better for us, and it draws us more cards, which we're already drawing a bunch as well. So this heart-to-heart talk is going to be a little bit of a kind of a personal preference. The thing with heart-to-heart talk, so there are a couple things. I'm going to pull up the other option over heart-to-heart talk. I don't remember its full name. It's like the history, yeah. So this is the other option over heart-to-heart talk. So Hidden History also lets you top deck fix. If you need to, but we're already playing 8 ways to top deck fix. I don't know if you need more. So it does have that over heart-to-heart talk, which is just going to draw you a card when you play it. And then this has Produce Blue, spend this will only to play activate abilities of Selesta Treasure Hunter. This works on the front and the back. It is the same name on both the front and the back. So you can use it for either side. Okay, that's one of the benefits of Hidden History Selesta over Heart-to-Heart Talk, because Heart-to-Heart Talk only says ruler. We also aren't playing any machines, so we're not really going to get any value off of the Maria Bella. The better thing about Heart-to-Heart Talk over Selesta, over Hidden History Selesta, is that this has to tap in order to give you the mana to use the effects, right? So what that means is if I go into my turn and I play Hidden History of Selesta, right? I top fix, I get my treasure, and then I pay the 1 to activate on my turn for the 1 Selesta effect. I won't be able to activate in my draw phase of the following turn, if that makes sense. So Heart-to-Heart Talk has the added value of it gives you that reduction all the time, so you can activate in your draw phase or in your main phase. You have the option to choose, whereas the Hidden History of Selesta gives you another top deck fix, but you only get the mana when you have it untapped, right? So if I have a Hidden History in play and I've like already used it, I can't do it again, like in my draw step, until I've gone through my recovery phase. But this lets you use it on both sides, whereas heart-to-heart talk is limited to just the front. So there are cases for each one. The other thing is heart-to-heart talk in the RFG is a lot harder to deal with. It has to be put back by either Essence of Athena's power, which is what your opponent can use to put it back, or it would have to be blanked by like Dante or something like that. So those are the ups, and then this is an addition, so it can be like destroyed, right? So those are the ups and downs for each one. So these 3 slots, I put heart-to-heart talk here, but if you want to play Hidden History Selesta over heart-to-heart talk, I wouldn't be against it. There are just pros and cons to each. 3 Lorite, standard, cancels other Lorites, so we can play our activate effects, cancels a bunch of Zeus stuff, right? As you can I don't know if you can tell, but a lot of this is more anti-Zeus, because Zeus is probably the best deck in the format at the moment, and one of the more accessible decks in the format. Origin. So Origin Dyrewing is our form of mana ramp. We're quasi in green with the advent of Lorite. You can opt to play more green cards as well. You can always opt to play more green cards. Green is just a good color. And then the thing with Dyrewing, though, is that green mana can always feed into your X ability, right? So that is another thing to keep in mind with something like Hidden History that has better synergy with Origin than Heart Talk would. Well, they have about the same synergy, but it feeds into those as well. So that is a good use for the green mana. And then we're also playing the 1 Mechanized Children of Kronos. The reason for this is it filters you to black if you need to play Black Witch for whatever reason. If you're in a really awkward scenario and you have to, because you can only Origin on your turn, and you have to Origin play a Black Witch on your turn specifically, that's what it's in there for. So it's in there for the filter to black, and then it's also just it's pretty decent. And then 4 Black Witch, and then 2 Pointy Hat Witch on the board. You can also play a Pumpkin Witch on the board, but you're already giving your J-Ruler swiftness off of Claw. And then as you can kind of see here, there aren't really a whole lot of Resonators that are going to be doing like damage, right? Like you're really just on this J-Ruler beat stick type deal. Because if you have all treasures removed, that's 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49, 56, 63, 70. Yeah, so there's 10 total treasures. So she could be a 71 if you have them all removed. So you're just on this J-Ruler beatstick game plan. And then we have 4 Moonshade. We're kind of in 3 colors, right? Blue, green, black. And then Moonshade also lets you play the other treasures if they somehow get stuck in your hand. Blue-green, because we have the Lorites, and then blue-black, because we have the Witches. The other things you can do, and this would just be like post sideboard and things like that, is the blue-green and blue-black with the Moonshades playing that like tricolor setup allows you more sideboard diversity. In the event you need to play stuff like Black Moon Ray, you still have the moon for it off of Moonshade, other things like that. So it's something to look for in the sideboard as well. But anyway, that is going to be the deck list for this week. Do let me know what you think in the comments section below, whether you like Selesta, you've been playing around with her, and any other tech options you might think of. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.